cannot. Take two. Here we go. And again, it's knocked out of bounds. And this time, it's going to be TCU basketball. TCU coming off biggest win of the season against Iowa State. A ton of momentum for the Horned Frogs coming into this ball game.
And that was a big-time win. I mean, what sort of impressed me the most is, how they closed the game. I mean, they've been working on that in practice, and you can tell it's translating to actual game play.
Here's David Punch, leads this team in scoring. They will have to reset here. Pick and roll in the pocket. And Punch, his first shot off the mark, but Anthony Roy, it looked like, tipped it in.
Yeah. Trying to get the rebound, accidentally put the ball in. Nonetheless, 2 points for TCU.
Arsafala, high screen. The big man for Oklahoma State has made an impact this season. Already under 10 on the shot clock, and that one thrown away. In transition, TCU pull-up and Harding with the three.
And that's a really good sign, because last game, he only had 0 points. 0 points, 0 for 4 from the field. He hasn't really scored it well as of recent. So the confidence in transition to be able to pull that, good sign for TCU.
Everything goes through the middle for Oklahoma State as Arsafala gets the Cowboys on the board.
And Fala only had 2 points the last time these two teams matched up. So you really need him to get going, because the front court of TCU dominated them.
Oh, that one rimmed out as Edmonds, the big man. He can step out, and it will stay here with TCU. So the officials say, my bad, pointed the wrong direction. It is going to be Oklahoma State basketball.
We love an official that can take accountability and correct the call, because right there was a tough angle to really see who it went out on. But we love an official who can take accountability.
Kanye Clary, the junior from Virginia Beach, Virginia. They blitz the ball, trying to get it out of his hands. There's Victorious Miller. Once again, shot clock now at 6. As TCU making the Cowboys work here in these opening possessions. Step back three, and it's nailed by Kanye Clary.
That's a big-time shot right there. Only averaging 7 points in the last 3. I mean, you let him see one go in. He's such a good passer. That just opens up a whole other dimension to his game.
Micah Robinson rips down the net. He had a big 3 down the stretch in the win against Iowa State. Another 3 here.
How good has he been in the last 2? Averaging 16 in the last 2, 16 and 5 rebounds. He's been terrific. His confidence is growing game by game.
Now Robinson poked that one away. TCU comes up with the steal. A 3-point lead here early on for the Horned Frogs. There goes Jaden Pierre. He is stripped, but a foul called going up to the bucket. That'll be the first on Clary. Head coach for TCU is Jamie Dixon in his 10th season at the helm. Now, he's changed his strategy over the past 3 seasons. The emphasis for this team, they are playing a lot faster brand of basketball here in the Big 12.
Well, that's typically how you would expect a Jamie Dixon team to play. When you looked at what they did the past few years, they were one of the leaders in the conference in transition points. I mean, this year's team is a little bit different. They're more strategic in the half court. But in times, they've shown that they can really run with the best of them.
So the key for TCU, early on in the season, they were losing a lot of close games. They've shifted practice, emphasized the final 2 minutes, and now recently come in here and they've won against some tough competition down the stretch. Clary off the bounce, gives it up to Roy, and he is blocked by Pierre. Gets it back, hanging, rolls out, but Fowler is there for the tip-in.
And TCU wants a basket interference right there. But to me, it looked like it was coming off. But that's a really good sign for Oklahoma State. Fowler with 4 points in this first 3 minutes of the ball game.
Punch off the bounce, leaned on by Coleman, affected that shot. Good D by Oklahoma State. In transition, here's Victorious Miller. He is bumped. And that's when Oklahoma State is so dangerous, getting up the floor fast.
And they need Victorious Miller to look to be more aggressive on the offensive side. In the last 2 games, he's only averaging 7 points, but we have seen at times this season that he is an elite scorer at times. And let's go back to this possible interference. I mean, to me, it looks like that was coming off. It was close, but that one was coming off, so I see why the referee didn't call that. But back to Victorious Miller, because we know how good he can be because he's shown flashes. It just has to be a consistent thing for Miller.
First free throw rims out for Victorious Miller, the LSU transfer from Los Angeles. Tanner Toolson into the game for TCU. Along with Latauras Lelevicius. As Jamie Dixon has actually shortened his bench. He's going really 7 deep now. As TCU looking to close the season strong. Oh, hard screen there by Punch. Frees up the 3 off the mark. Larry pushing the pace, and he will draw the whistle on Harding, his first personal.
But I like the defensive strategy from Oklahoma State. I mean, up top, icing the ball screen and not allowing Brock Harding to come off a screen cleanly, because that's when he's playing his best brand of basketball.
Steve Lutz, in his second season at the helm, he said it's been a mixed bag in terms of the season so far for Oklahoma State. When we rebound, when we compete defensively, things have gone well. And you saw that in that stretch against Utah, against BYU. This team is capable of playing at a very high level.
Yeah, but the key thing is you have to get stops. In order to get out and be able to do what they do best in transition, you have to be able to get stops on the defensive side.
Leftis Mantzoukas, his first shot off the bench, off the mark. We are in the break zone. It is TCU with an early lead here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Back to live action here. It's TCU with an early lead alongside King McClure. I'm John Schriffen. A lot of pressure as Fowler forces one up. Still had a couple seconds on the shot clock.
And he has to have more awareness than that. When you had about 3 seconds, that's about 2 or 3 dribbles that you could have used to be able to get a little bit closer. So not a great possession right there.
Robinson lowers the left shoulder into the big man and finishes. How about that tough take?
He's been so good. I mean, shooting the ball from deep, being able to attack on the initial drive. Robinson is taking his game to another level.
Victorious Roy leads this team in scoring, almost 18 a game, and he lays it in with his strong left.
And that's not typically his game. He's a guy that loves to stay behind the arc, but when he does drive, he's more than capable because he has a high skill level. He just doesn't use it a lot.
Fowler got his hand on that one, deflects it out of bounds with 12 seconds. He's going to make a big impact because you said he only had 2 points the first time these two teams met. He was sick in that matchup. Clearly wasn't himself, but healthy this second time around.
Yeah, I mean, not just scoring the ball, but his impact on the offensive side. Because we talked about when they don't have it in transition, they use him to be able to get to the top of the key, and they run a lot of zoom actions as the primary initiator. So he means so much for this Oklahoma State offense.
Robinson, his pass deflected, 3 on the shot clock. Pierre gets it up quick, too strong. Flying in is Tanner Toolson. Another possession for TCU. Pierre turns that corner. And a reach-in foul is going to be called on Victorious Miller.
Yeah, right there off of that pass. I mean, Jaden Pierre did a really good job driving baseline, and off the baseline pass, he hit the 45, and he hit Robinson. Robinson has to shoot that. A little too unselfish. I mean, they ended up getting a foul, but Robinson has to be able to knock that down.
Curling is Toolson off the inbound, and he rattles home a 3.
And last game, Tanner Toolson might have played one of his best games this whole season. 17 points, 10 rebounds. He's been phenomenal. And speaking of phenomenal, I mean, the way that Anthony Roy can just shoot the basketball, that's the one thing that you have to know when you're guarding him. He wants to shoot the tray, so you have to climb up in him, and he's too good to allow any type of space.
You can see Oklahoma State packing it in defensively, not allowing the front court for TCU to get active here. As Pierre takes a deep one and nails another three. TCU 4 for 6 from downtown to start this game.
Well, he's only shooting 11% from three in the last 4 games. But right now, we're seeing a high level of offense on both sides of the floor.
Doris Miller directing traffic, finds the leftist Manzukis. His three off the mark. Hot shooting from the outside for the Horned Frogs to start this ball game. As Pierre takes another back-to-back as TCU has opened up the largest lead, up 8. Here is Roy. Looked like he got hit on that shot.
He definitely got hit right there.
Robinson back the other way. And he will draw the contact and the whistle.
Let's go back, all right? Pay attention to Toolson, right? Anytime a guy sets a screen, the better screener you are, the more open you get on shots. They use that false motion for him to set the screen to put the defender asleep. And as a result, after he sets the screen, he releases and gets a wide open tray. That's just a great drop right there by Jamie Dixon.
And a great breakdown. You always wonder when you have a shooter that finds themselves wide open, how does it happen? But that was a pretty execution there.
Yeah, and that's one thing I had to learn. One thing I learned is the better screener that I became, the more wide open I was when I got shots, when I got looks. Because you always, coaches love to run screen-to-screener actions, kind of similar to what we just saw, but not to the same extent. But when you become a better screener, you're typically open more.
Jalen Curry in the game now, the backup point guard for Oklahoma State, along with Isaiah Coleman. As the Cowboys looking for some energy off the bench to try to get back into this game here. Roy is bodied as the whistle. And it calls on Micah Robinson. That'll be his second personal.
You know, one thing that could help this Oklahoma State offense is on the pick and roll, TCU is blitzing a ball screen, meaning that they're putting 2 on the ball. So when 2 goes towards the basketball, that means you have a 4-on-3 on the opposite side. So if you can just get rid of it immediately when you see the blitz, good things will happen and your offense becomes easier.
So Robinson will have to take a breather with 2 fouls. As Pierre and Punch come back in the game for TCU. Roy goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. And he now has the last 6 points for Oklahoma State. TCU's been able to get any look they want from the outside to start this game. Edmonds, inside drive off the rim, and the rebound to Coleman. Anthony Roy gets the clear out. Coleman had it stripped away and then commits the foul. Looked like he got hit on his wrist first, but Coleman called for his first personal. Welcome you to Stillwater, Oklahoma, as TCU has jumped out to an early 8-point lead alongside King McClure. I'm John Schriffen here in Gallagher-Iba Arena. Well, a happy Valentine's Day, a big game for both of these teams because both of these teams are sitting on the outside in, according to our bracketology expert, Joe Lenardi. This means a lot to TCU and Oklahoma State.
And they've had chances to be able to pull off big wins, but you're right. This right here is a game that could really make or break your tournament chances.
Wow, Harding just couldn't handle that one. Coleman coming the other way, and he will get a trip to the free throw line. All right, according to Joey Brackets, here's where he has it right now. TCU in that first 4 out group. Oklahoma State the next line under, next 4 out.
And we talk about make or break in tournament chances. I mean, I've been right here on the first 4. So you have to value wins, especially in moments like this, because you know how hard of a gauntlet the Big 12 can be.
As a player, can you appreciate the situation that both of these teams are in late in the regular season, and it's basically in their own hands right now?
Yeah, you just have to string together wins. No matter what happens, you just have to stay locked in. No matter come off big loss or a big win, every game matters. We call it short-term memory. You have to have short-term memory in this league.
TCU hot shooting to start this game from the outside. 5 of 7 from deep. As they give a paint touch inside. Good D by Benjamin Ahmed, knocking that one out of bounds.
And that's one of those times where right there, he gave you the angle, so you have to shoot that with your left hand. I mean, Edmonds tries to go right back with the right. Look at this. He tries to shoot it with his right hand. If you shoot it with the left to go reverse, maybe you have a different outcome, but you can't bring it back to the right.
Harding pull up mid-range off the mark. Edmonds tries to save it, and he does. 3 ball on the way, off the mark by Punch. And a foul on the rebound called on Xavier Edmonds, his first.
And that's what you love about him. Even though he got the foul right there, you love his pursuit on the offensive glass. Every single time a shot goes up, he is looking to go get the basketball. And that's part of the reason why he's been so dominant in the last 6 games. I mean, averaging 17 points and 10 rebounds. He's a story that doesn't get mentioned and doesn't get talked about enough, but he's playing exceptional basketball.
Tipped out of bounds for the audience just joining us here on ESPN2. King, one of the early storylines, TCU, they are doubling the ball hard, disrupting the offensive flow for Oklahoma State.
And they're blitzing the basketball and putting 2 on every screen and roll. Like, watch this right here. They put 2 on it. You have to get rid of it. You have to hit the big that flashes.
Coleman inside, and the finish. Benjamin Ahmed, the freshman from Nigeria. Seems like Oklahoma State is starting to settle in and handling that pressure now. Pierre wheeling, dealing, threw up a wild one. And it's the Cowboys coming the other way. Leading scorer on this team, Roy launches. And the board, Salachim. Hot start for TCU, but the last few possessions getting a little careless on the offensive end.
Yeah, but right there, when Harding comes off the ball screen, he's looking for the corner because you're reading the corner tag, and right there, Pierre lifts up, and he doesn't expect him to. If he's in that corner, that's a wide open 3, but because of the unexpected lift, it ends up in the turnover.
Ahmed calling for it. Inside they go to Coleman, and a goaltend is called. Count the bucket.
And let's take a look at this right here because it looks like this got double blocked in. That's hard right there to be able to see from that angle. It's a better angle.
Ooh, yeah, that was not going in either.
That was not going in. He would have missed it. But Coleman does a good job of just getting it on the backboard. And it's hard to see. As a defender, it's really hard to see if the ball is truly going to go in from their angle. So you just try to make a play on it. But right there, not a great play because you end up giving them 2 points.
It looked like Coleman left it a little short.
Yeah.
TCU in a drought here. Scoreless over the last 3:30 as Toulson, a hard take, draws the whistle on Isaiah Coleman, his second.
And I've been so impressed with Toulson. I mean, especially last game. You look at him and you automatically think shooter. But one thing that he does a tremendous job of is he attacks closeouts better than almost anybody on this TCU team. Immediately on the catch, if he doesn't have the three, he has the ability to be able to read the defender and get right past you.
How about this game coming up at 3 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app? Number 25, Kentucky takes on 14th ranked Florida. Monster matchup in the SEC.
What about the season that Florida's had? I mean, at the beginning of the year, they started off highly ranked. They dropped. They weren't meeting expectations. And all of a sudden, they're starting to, get hot at the right time. And they're starting to figure a few things out. And I think they have as good of a chance of anybody in the SEC to be able to finish top of that conference.
Isn't that kind of the storyline in college basketball these days now? With so many new players, roster transfers, complete takeovers. Yeah. It takes time, right?
It does, but it's hard when you go from being ranked preseason #1 to
Did he call
out
that?
of the state.
Did Jalen Curry call the bank open?
Yeah, I don't think so. But sometimes luck is good.
It's been almost 5 minutes since TCU has made a field goal. Edmonds from deep puts an end to that as the Horned Frogs knock down their 6th three here in this first half.
And that's just a good decision right there by Pierre. On the drive, the big steps over, so you drop it off to Edmonds for a good tray.
Pick and roll, doubling the ball. Curry keeps his dribble alive. Now Ahmed dumping in and off the mark. Punch, leading scorer for TCU, was impactful in that first matchup against these teams. Had 22 points in the win over Oklahoma State first time around.
Oh,
good pass. Oh, behind the back. Oklahoma State trying to settle it down, but leaving it short is Isaiah Coleman.
Good pass.
Now Edmonds races everybody down the floor. And a timeout called.
Week by week. But they need to stack a few together in order to really make a solid push for the tournament.
This is a TCU team that had some early leads in the season slip away. Against Notre Dame, they were up against Kansas, Michigan, at BYU. They let all of those games slip away.
I mean, the game at Kansas for sure. And you're supposed to walk out of Allen with that one. Or something hard. That's something hard to do. I mean, I never had success in Allen, but they were supposed to win that one. But you're right, and that's a great pass.
Now, because of those leads that slipped away early in the season for TCU, Jamie Dixon has changed the way he's formatted practice. He's now going to a lot of late game situations, some 2-minute drills, emphasizing the pressure put on in practice, and it seemed to really help this team get over that hump.
I mean, those types of scenarios in practice really do translate. Because now if you happen to mess up one of those in practice, you can talk about it and your coach can explain to you, all right, this is what you need to do better. Let's try it again. I mean, in a game, it's never, ever going to be the most perfect scenario, but you at least have a better idea and a better sense, and you feel more comfortable in those moments because you're able to replicate it every single day.
And it's helped. They've won 2 in a row against Kansas State and at Iowa State. Both those games coming from behind, taking it away late. 12-0 run against Iowa State, a 7-0 run to finish that game against Kansas State. 7 minutes to play here in this first half. If you're the Cowboys, what's the key here to get into a better flow in this game down 8?
Oh, just getting rid of the basketball. And that's the biggest thing right there. And I think that's an area in which Curry has gotten so much better at. I mean, when you look at it last game, he had 6 assists. He's becoming a better playmaker game by game, and he's normally known as a guy who can score. But his facilitation is where he's grown the most this season. We just saw it right there. So just being able to share the basketball one-on-one is not a good strategy against this TCU defense.
Parsifal makes the first free throw. Only had 2 points in their first matchup earlier this season. The big man was sick, was not at full strength. And they're going to lean on him as he's the second leading scorer and the leading rebounder for this Oklahoma State team. Makes them both as Oklahoma State will set up a full court press. Coleman at 6'8", leading that press with those long arms. Off the break. How about David Punch rising up?
The explosion right there at the rim. That's how you attack the rim right there.
Curry, a little late dump off. Fourth turnover for Oklahoma State. Extra pass, Robinson corner, short, but he tracks down his own miss. Here goes Pierre, his first miss from deep today. Coleman looking inside, now drives by his man, lost it going up. Here comes TCU. Harding with the floater, he left it short.
Might not have been the greatest decision right there. You didn't have numbers. It was 1-on-2. You got the floater in transition. But maybe not the greatest decision right there by Harding.
Curry turns the corner, and he nails the mid-range.
And that's where Jalen Curry is at his best. I mean, he's a true definition of a three-level scorer, and his mid-range game is extremely dangerous if you allow him to get to it.
Timeout TCU as Jamie Dixon.
High-level game and big-time win. And they have another opportunity against Kansas. And they typically have success against Kansas in this building.
Punch with the blow-by. Manzukis stripped it. And it'll stay here with TCU, 12 on the shot clock.
Let's take a look at this right here. Who did that go off of? Oh, that went off of TCU.
That's off Punch. But Pierre unable to finish at the rim. And Oklahoma State coming the other way. Crotty, pump fake, can't finish in close at the rim.
That's because that's not really his game. He's a sniper from deep. But if you make him put the ball on the floor and finish at the rim, he struggles.
Punch spinning away from the D, gets the miss. And he might have got cracked in the face there.
I do not think that it was anything malicious or it was anything of, harmful intent. But typically in those scenarios, it doesn't have to be that in order to get to a flagrant.
So Harding knocks down the first, shooting the free throws for Punch, who has now gone to the locker room. And he makes them both. Under 5 minutes to play here in this first half. Foul at the top. This is the game of Crotty, but he left that one short. TCU all of a sudden has gone cold from the outside after a hot shooting start.
This is when they have to heavily rely on their guards, Harding and Pierre, because your front court, both of your leading scorers are on the bench.
And Fowler inside.
And with that, that's an area I would attack if I'm Oklahoma State. And I'm getting the ball to Fowler down low, allowing him to be able to go to work, because you don't have your best two front court defenders in the game.
Off the bounce is Toulson looking for help. Now the turnaround, Jay forced that one. No numbers for Curry. Pulls up three in transition. I don't know about that one.
That's a bad shot. Those are the shots that Steve Lutz wants to alleviate from the offense.
Levichis used to be a starter, but the last few games has come off the bench, providing a little punch for this offense. Behind the back, Roy clobbered. No whistle there. So the officials just had a break in the action. They're trying to figure out how many timeouts TCU should have left. Right now they have 2 remaining, but the officials just want to make sure. Curry going to work with 8 on the shot clock. Good job by Toulson staying in front. Zukas, step back, mid-range. The shot selection has not been the best the last few times down.
I think part of that is no Clary out there. When Clary's on the floor for Oklahoma State, he controls the tempo, and he's the primary initiator that puts everybody in spots. And right now, with no Clary, the offense looks a little lost.
Rolls off the rim, and it falls in the lap of Victorious Miller. Hardy did a nice job there denying the pass to Roy. Now Miller turns the corner. Roy, step back 3. Oh, he is just wet.
He loves that step back. And right there, I thought he should have hit the one more to Curry, but when Roy can get to that step back, it's almost automatic, shooting that thing at 45% on the season.
Now Victorious Miller does a nice job denying Harding, as Pierre will work with it. Toulson calling for it, extra pass, Harding open, and he makes him pay from the wing.
And that's just good basketball. Off of pick and roll, when you can get it to your big, you always have the advantage on the weak side. And right there, TCU does a really good job of taking advantage of it.
Fowler sets the screen for Curry, double comes, picks up his dribble. Zukas. No touches inside for Oklahoma State. Pierre's had a good first half, 8 points for TCU. As pump fake, another one rolls out, and it's saved by the Cowboys.
And Punch has really struggled today. I mean, he's had some decent looks, but he's really struggled to really find the bottom of the net on some of those drives, and that's an area in which he really killed Oklahoma State in the first game. He was able to penetrate and get into the lane and be able to finish, but we haven't seen that same level of consistency from him offensively today as we saw in the last game.
So Benjamin Ahmed, the freshman, comes back on the floor for Oklahoma State. A little more size, a little more strength on the inside. Fowler, double teamed off the inbound, finishes, plus the foul.
And this is a big time finish. When we talk about how strong Fowler is, look at this right here. Avoids the double, finishes with his weak hand through the contact. I mean, this is what they missed in the first matchup. They needed him to be this type of level of productive. And today, he's being that.
He'd been working hard on the inside, not getting any love, not getting any touches. And you could tell it had been building, and with that and one just lets out that roar.
And the offense has to flow through him. I mean, when you don't have a guy like Clary in the game, you have to play through Fowler. Because not only is he one of your better scorers, he's one of your primary initiators, and he makes really good decisions.
Under a minute to play here in this first half, as TCU wants to set up a good shot. 15 on the shot clock. Pick and roll, Harding gets rid of it. Toulson rising up. If you're Oklahoma State, walk me through this final 20 seconds.
Well, they're going to call timeout. You have to play through him, not only because of his scoring presence, but as of right now, everybody on this floor for Oklahoma State, he's your best overall decision maker. And you can see they put Crotty on the floor, so maybe they're trying to be able to get him on the opposite side, to where when they put 2 on the basketball, maybe he can get a wide open look if you just get rid of it.
Chase Posey inserted into the game defensively. Curry with the blow by, tried to yam it, and that's how the first half will end. Whoa. Combined for 40 points in the win the first time these two teams met. They were combined 4 for 15 in that first half.
And they had their opportunities, they had their looks, but they just could not convert. So let's see if there's any type of adjustment that Jamie Dixon will do to put them in more positions to get buckets.
TCU with the ball first. As Robinson left open, short, and the follow slam by David Punch.
And that's one way to insert yourself into a ball game offensively if you're Punch. I mean, you haven't done a good job on the drive. You haven't scored it well, but what do? Go crash the offensive glass and see the ball go in finally.
Good screen there by Fowler. The big man rolls to the bucket. They finally get him a touch, and he finishes at the rim.
And that's a great decision right there by Coleman. I mean, he had 2 collapsing on him right there, so he gets the ball to Fowler for the easy float.
Inside they go, Xavier Edmonds. One-on-one against Fowler. And a soft touch gets the roll.
One-on-one, he's a tough guard. He's a tough cover because he can score in a variety of ways, and he's extremely patient down low. That's what makes him extremely tough to guard, his patience.
Mismatch inside. Fowler is open. Gets to his right hand, and he's got back-to-back buckets.
And he loves that right-hand hook over the left shoulder. So you have to take that away and make him go the other direction.
Both teams going inside to start this second half. Punch, he'll try to take Coleman. How about the Euro from the big man? I didn't know he had that in his game.
Yeah, Punch is extremely skilled. I mean, that's why I think he has a chance to play at the next level, because he has a high-level skill set. And we talk about a high-level skill set. You can tell Oklahoma State is extremely intentional about where they want to get the ball in these first few possessions.
Robinson open, short. And the ball out of bounds. It's going to go to the Cowboys.
Let's go all the way back to this Punch tip dunk. Look where he starts. And as soon as the shot goes up, look at his pursuit. This is high-level athleticism. And this is why I've been so impressed with this young man, because he can do so many things on the basketball court in terms of the offensive side of things.
Fowler's got all the points for Oklahoma State in this second half, and he just played a little bully ball. I'm bigger than you, and I'm going to get to the foul line.
And what makes this so tough, look at his left hand. He puts his left hand up to not allow Edmonds to be able to get a clean contest on the layup. Fowler knows he's not the most athletic big man in this conference or even on the floor right now. So he does crafty things like that. He shields you off with the offhand to not allow clean contests because he knows what his limits are.
So that was the third personal called on Xavier Edmonds. As you can see the emphasis for Oklahoma State. Every possession here in this second half has gone through Parsa Fowler.
And that's the smartest thing that they can do. And that's one thing that Let's talk to us about. I mean, he said that a lot of times they get stuck in transition and they end up taking bad ones. So what do you do to counter that? You bring Parsa Fowler up and you get him a touch, because now you get to get at least an opportunity to create a better looking shot than some of those step back threes that they take in transition with about 10 seconds gone off the clock.
Even his teammates have talked about it, even the guards. They love giving him the ball because the defense collapses and they can get better looks based off of his production.
It's a luxury to be able to play with a big who can make good decisions. It's almost that Jokic effect. Same thing that we see, but not to the same extreme, but same thing that we see with the Nuggets. They give the ball to Jokic, and he creates easy offense for everybody else around him.
Fowler's got all 8 points in the second half for Oklahoma State. It's a 3-point game. Punch, a lot of dribbling. And a foul called on the floor. And that's on Parsa Fowler, his second.
And the thing I loved about that the most is, watch, he goes into the chest of Fowler. Knowing that Fowler's probably stronger than him, Punch is not afraid of contact. You grow through the chest, and you end up at the free throw line. And, I mean, his ability to be able to put the ball on the floor, He can finish in a variety of ways. He can shoot the three. Defensively, he's a great athlete that can protect the rim. I mean, I really do think that Punch has the ability to play at the next level.
One of the things TCU has adjusted with him, when he's backing down a defender, that oftentimes the double team will come. They've been trying to get him in space more to not allow that to happen.
And he's an inside-out threat. You can get it to him on the block, or he can do his work from the perimeter and really he has the handle to create an advantage whenever he wants. So that's a good thing for TCU.
Fowler sets the screen, finds Roy, head fake, open corner three, splash! Anthony Roy just silky smooth.
Easily one of the best shooters in the Big 12. When you allow him to get a clean look, Shrift, it's just automatic money.
Now the crowd is getting into it. Student section sitting right behind us. Here comes the double on Punch. Picks up his dribble, and he'll draw another foul.
And I love how he goes through the arm of the defender. Take a look at this right here. His possession's going nowhere. Coleman puts his arm up, and he goes through the arm. Good scorers understand how to get to the free throw line and how to create something out of nothing.
You know, it's interesting. It's almost like both coaches at the half went back and said, look, we know we need this game. There's a desperation factor here. If we're going to lose, we got to go through our best guys, and they're both going to the inside now.
Well, for Oklahoma State, I mean, we saw at times their offense got stagnant, and I think that was primarily due to their inability to be able to get the ball to Fowler. Same thing with TCU. They started off on a heater in the first half from behind the arc, but their offense got stagnant after that, and one way to remove the stagnation is to get the ball inside.
I kind of like the throwback, right? In this era of everyone just hoisting up threes, it's nice to just pound the rock inside. Who's better than you?
I mean, especially when you have guys who can do it. When you have guys on your team who are more than capable of creating advantages from the post, yeah, I like it. I think that's an easy solution to offensive struggles.
Pick and roll. Lane opens up. Wow. That could have been a goaltend, but no call.
I thought it was the right call. I thought it was a clean block.
Yeah, okay.
Got to look down low. You have the advantage.
Salachim calling for it. Instead, it's Robinson at the free throw line. Kick out, three, wet. Lateris Lilavicius.
And he shoots 41 from three. 10.6 rebounds last game against Iowa State. He's arguably the best shooter for TCU.
They've been asking him to shoot more shots. As Roy, double team, gets his own miss, stripped underneath, as Toulson takes it away. In transition, end-to-end, Tanner Toulson doing it himself.
Toulson is really skilled. He's a very underrated player. I mean, you label him as a shooter, but you see right there, he can get it out in transition and take his time, a slow step Euro to be able to create it. And
hello! Christian Coleman can get up with the best of them.
And he's a guy that's been extremely quiet today, but maybe that can really start to get him going.
7-point lead. Toulson off the bounce. They were letting a lot go in the first half, but the refs are tightening up play here in the second as they really feel like when he's attacking the rim, it opens up the rest of his game.
Because his ability to shoot frees up everything else. Because teams usually overexert themselves on the closeout. And like I mentioned earlier, he's one of the best on this team as far as driving closeouts and being able to create an advantage for your offense.
I think this is both free throws. Ice cream for everybody, but he goes 1 of 2. Kanye Clary keeps his dribble alive. Now Roy.
It's good defense right there.
Tough drive in the lane, and Clary, the junior from Virginia Beach, Virginia, gets it to go. Robinson stuck. Crowd thought he dragged that pivot foot, and then he pops Ahmed in the face.
And just not a smart foul right there by Robinson. Not a great play to shoot the ball originally, and then the foul 94 feet away from the basket. This just isn't smart basketball.
Definitely traveled.
Definitely traveled. But that's just a bad play.
Clary up top, and the throwdown by Isaiah Coleman. Here comes Punch the other way. Answers, trades a 2 for a 3.
That's a big-time response. I mean, Punch isn't a guy who is known for his three-point shot, but he's more than capable.
Clary with a little hook, and they call that offensive foul as he got past the defender.
I like the call right there. He definitely created an advantage with the baby hook. But let's go back to this punch 3 in transition. If you're Ahmed, you have to step up because he's more than capable. And on the other side, Clary, good pass. I mean, that's what Clary does for this Oklahoma State team. I mean, we talk about Fowler and how he's one of the best playmakers. Well, Clary, as far as a perimeter perspective, he is the best playmaker. He's the best initiator because he can really do a good job of putting teammates in positions to succeed. And his vision is better than anybody else on this Oklahoma State team.
Toulson dump off, and Punch finishes. TCU has hit 7 of their last 9 from the floor.
Punch is feeling it. He's in a rhythm.
Inside they go to Ahmed. Double team comes, and he's forced to get rid of it, but throws it away.
And that's great defense right there. Toulson goes on the bottom side, so as soon as Ahmed turns and tries to get to a strong hand, he runs into Toulson, which makes him be stuck right there, and then just throws a bad pass because he had nowhere to go with the basketball. That's just good defensive rotation right there by TCU.
8th turnover today for Oklahoma State. Four seconds on the shot clock. Pierre stops, pops, short. As Curry, the backup point guard, now on the floor. Coleman left open, and he drains the 3 from straight on.
And it hasn't been his strength. I mean, the last game was the first time he's hit a 3 in all conference. So now that he saw it go in last game, his confidence is starting to grow, and we see it translate to today.
Harding, his pass off the mark. Numbers for Oklahoma State. Roy in transition, keeps it himself, and he will draw the foul.
That is just bad 2-on-1 execution. That's bad basketball right there. And you have to get rid of it. My young players out here watching this game on a 2-on-1 scenario, when you have somebody ahead of you, kick the ball up and take the easier look instead of a contested lay. But he ended up at the free throw line. But still, take the easier shot. Don't overcomplicate basketball.
All right, King McClure. If we're back at Baylor,
yeah,
and that situation happens, you're Jalen Curry, open, running down the floor, you don't get the touch. What is your reaction? What are you doing?
I'm going up to him saying, you better make these free throws. And he went 1 out of 2. I mean, I could have had 2 points right there. So I'm going up to my teammates saying, you better make these free throws because you looked me off. And we couldn't see from that angle, but he literally looked at Curry and decided to shoot the layup regardless. That's just bad basketball.
5-point lead for TCU with under 12 minutes to play in the second half. All the attention is on Punch. And it's tipped out off the hands of Roy. It stays with TCU. Toulson, drive, hang, no whistle. And it's TCU coming up with these 50-50 balls.
A good decision by Harding to just settle the offense and get the ball where it needs to go.
Edmonds, just the extra effort, puts it in.
And right now we're seeing this Horned Frog team really be the dominant imposers in the inside and the interior. And between Edmonds and Punch, they're a really underrated duo in the Big 12.
Nine on the shot clock for the Cowboys. Coleman crossover, a contested 2. Okay.
And that's what he can do. I mean, he hasn't been great as of recently. He's only averaging 2 points in the last 2 games, but he's a mid-range specialist.
Edmonds on the drive with Fowler on his hip, gets to the left, and here comes Toulson. Nobody boxing out for Oklahoma State.
And this is why Tanner Toulson is so hard to pull off the floor. He does all the little things. Like, look at that right there. I mean, Punch gambled for it, but who was right there on the backside to clean it up? Tanner Toulson does so many little things, and that's why his playing time is rising.
Toulson 3, rims out as Curry brings it up the floor. This is where Oklahoma State is dangerous in transition, but Curry can't finish, and Pierre comes the other way. Challenges the shot blockers, rising up. Jaden Pierre, let him know.
Like that cause you to lose ball games. It's effort. Those 50-50 balls, TCU has been winning that in the second half. That's why they're up by 9.
Fowler left open from the wing, and he drains the 3. Big bucket for Oklahoma State, pulls to within 6.
And now that Fowler's back in the game, let's see if Oklahoma State intentionally tries to go inside to him.
Chase Posey off the bench. Robinson, strong take, high off the glass, and it's pulled down by Fowler. 9 minutes to play in this second half. Fowler has 11 points here in this frame as he's calling for it.
And I like this lineup right here by Oklahoma State. Put Curry and Clary into the ball game. 2 playmakers with Fowler.
Leaning in and gets the roll. Kanye Clary.
I think they could see some success with this lineup because the ball will move a lot better. Oh.
That went over the backboard, so it's Oklahoma State basketball. All right, what an ABC women's basketball doubleheader we have for you tomorrow. Number 21, North Carolina takes on 11th-ranked Duke. That's at 1 Eastern. And how about this? Texas, Tennessee, 4 versus 22 at 3 o'clock. A great slate of women's basketball.
Texas looking to bounce back. I mean, after the loss to Vanderbilt and the way Vic Schaefer called out his girls, they have to have a big-time bounce back.
No shame in losing to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, they are on a mission this season.
Caleb Blakes is like that.
Well, you've liked this smaller lineup for Oklahoma State with Curry and Clary, and the guards making an impact.
And because you have 2 guards who can get into the lane. We always talk about playing inside-out basketball. Well, one way to get inside is dribble penetration, and that's something that Clary and Curry both provide.
Big foul called there. It goes on Micah Robinson of TCU. That is his 4th personal with over 8 minutes to play.
But it might not be the worst thing in the world for TCU because you can insert a guy like the Levitius or Toulson in the game and still have the same level of production because Robinson hasn't been that great today.
So they call him LT. Back in the game for TCU. 7-0 run with this lineup for Oklahoma State as Victorious Miller comes back in to replace Curry. Well, King, we got a game again.
We told you this is going to be a 1-possession game, and it's going to come down to the end.
pressured, has to get rid of it. Shot clock's at 9. Punch settles things down, puts his head down, goes to the hole, and he will draw the whistle.
It's a bad foul by Miller right there.
Victorious Miller called for his second. We got a 2-point ball game. Fowler in close. No whistle. Bodies on the floor. It's won by Clary.
That's the effort in which they were missing early on.
And now the concern is for Tanner Toolson, who might have hit his head on the court. That's a young man who gives everything he has, and he is slow to get up. All right, let's take a look at this scrum. Ooh. Ooh. Collided with Clary, and that head snapped back. And the officials are doing the right thing here, making sure that his safety is the concern. He was down on the court, and they're going to make sure that they sub him out.
And the trainer came on the floor. So because the trainer came on the floor, they have to make a sub for the player in which they were attending to. Which Toolson says he's fine.
But the rule is in place for player safety.
Sure, for the safety, 100%. Toolson says he's fine, though. But because the trainer came on the floor, that's a good call.
Ahmed couldn't corral the rebound, and TCU with numbers coming the other way. Punch in close, finds his partner Edmonds, who finishes it off.
That's just a great decision right there. I mean, that's what makes this duo so tough. I mean, they know where each other are, they find each other, and they do a really good job of penetrating and getting inside and creating those advantages.
Clary steps into one, too strong. Rebound TCU. Pierre cut off by Clary. Now it's Harding will try, and he knocks down the triple. Sticks out the tongue, shows the swag.
That's a big-time tray right there, but good decision by Pierre. Getting in the lane, playing inside-out basketball when you drive the lane and defenses collapse. You can find wide-open shooters. Good pass.
Good pump fake. And it is Ahmed drawing the foul on Punch. That'll be his second.
And although Clary hasn't done a good job of scoring it, he's done a really good job of facilitating. And speaking of facilitating, this right here is just good inside out in the season. That's unrealistic. So you need to learn how to lose early on so that when it matters the most, you're hungry and you're no longer complacent.
Miami of Ohio would like to say something. The only undefeated team left in the country. Pass is picked off. Jalen Curry lays it in. He was part of that unit that got Oklahoma State back in the game.
And I love this Curry-Clary backcourt right now. They had a lot of success when they were on the floor earlier. I think you need to roll with this lineup.
Harding, what a dime inside to find Xavier Edmonds.
He is a high-level distributor. I mean, Harding has had over 13 games where he's had 6 assists or more. One of the best facilitators in the Big 12.
Open underneath, and Ahmed rocks the rim. Under 5 minutes to play, 6-point lead for TCU. Looking inside, Edmonds. One-on-one against Fowler. What a matchup this is. No bucket, but the foul is called on Fowler, his fourth.
Let's take a look at the foul. Gets the arm caught, wraps the arm around, gets the arm caught.
Did Edmonds initiate that and hook the arm?
From that angle, it was really tough to see.
I would want to see another look at that.
Remember the hook and hold days where everything was going to the monitor for the hook and hold?
But it's Oklahoma State getting the ball back as things. It's been ratcheted up a little bit. You can feel the intensity as we're approaching crunch time.
Well, part of the reason why you like this Curry-Clary combo in the backcourt is not just offensively, but defensively. They do a really good job of putting pressure on the guards and making them uncomfortable when in terms of Pierre and Harding.
Clary didn't wait for the double team, gets rid of it. Splish, splash, Jalen Curry. We're a couple weeks away, but this atmosphere feels like March. Kick out, Harding, and backside board to Christian Coleman. Curry, and it's saved by TCU.
Not a good decision. A little out of control. I like the aggressiveness, but right there you have to understand when you have numbers versus when you don't.
A block. Pataris Lilavicius at the free throw line. And he rolls in the first. Foul trouble for Oklahoma State. Clary just called for the block, picked up his fourth. Fowler also has 4. And LT 2 of 2 at the free throw line. So Robinson back on the floor for TCU. He also has 4 personal fouls.
Got to look inside. You have the advantage.
Here is Roy hoisting, missing everything.
That's just a bad shot. That's a horrible shot. You had Pierre at 6 foot guarding Fowler down low when you choose to shoot a contested 3. That's bad basketball. Another bad decision right there by Roy.
TCU eating clock as we approach 3 minutes to play in the second half. Toulson also back on the floor. Rejected. Edmonds gets it. Did not notice the shot clock, and a shot clock violation.
That's good defense right there. Good rim protection by Christian Coleman.
But how about Clary? After that shot clock violation, got in the face of his teammate Roy and said, "We need you. Let's go down the stretch here."
Because he takes bad shots, and he's a talented player who can make those, but in moments like this, you have to play smart basketball, and that last possession just wasn't smart basketball. So good leadership right there by Clary.
Splits the D, gets into the paint, and the lead is down to 3. You like this running clock by TCU?
Yeah, I like this right here. Take a little bit of time because the clock is your friend. But you just have to make sure that you're very intentional when you get good looks.
Toulson, open, short, and out of bounds. Oklahoma State ball.
And that's a good look right there. I mean, you have a guy like Toulson who is shooting it well and playing well. You get an open look right there. I don't hate that look. I think that's a pretty decent shot.
Let's see if Fowler gets a touch here. The big man for Oklahoma State has 22 points. His season high is 25. As the Cowboys on a 7-2 run.
You have the advantage down low. You have to look at it. You have to go down there.
There's Fowler. Double team comes, splits it, and it's a 1-point game. It's getting loud in here. Timeout, TCU. Last timeout for the Horned Frogs. Out of the timeout, let's see what TCU came up with.
That punch has to roll right there.
90 seconds to play. Punch working on Coleman and fights his way through, plus the foul.
And that's what he can do. One-on-one, he poses an extreme problem. Because look at the strength. He just moves Coleman out the way. He's patient, he takes his time. He hits you with that shoulder and just clears out space and allows him to be able to get that left-hand hook over you. And hit punches. Arguably the most improved player in the Big 12.
How about the first half versus the second half? He's got 18, 16 of them coming here in the second.
He's been dominant. And you can tell that the message at halftime was that he had to be the best player on the floor. He had to be more aggressive. And so far, he's done a tremendous job in the second half of being that aggressor.
Clary's double teamed, but pushed. And the bump is called on TCU. As Punch will pick up his third personal.
Team foul number 6.
So the next foul against TCU will send Oklahoma State to the line.
Right here, you go with the small lineup, putting Roy at the 4 and putting Miller at the 3 to provide more shooting and scoring on the floor for Oklahoma State.
What a second half for Clary. He's got 8 points, 8 assists in this second half. Roy, a contested deep one. Oh, my! Under a minute to go. We got a one-point game.
And that's what Roy can do. That right there is the shot that you want him taking, because that's when he's at his best and that's when he's most efficient.
Pierre off the bounce, picks it up, deflected out of bounds. 6 on the shot clock for TCU. And remember, the Horned Frogs are out of timeouts.
I like this right here, an offensive-defensive sub. You know, you went small ball for offensive purposes, but then you put Coleman in the game right now to defend that duo of Punch and Edmonds, because you need more size on the defensive side. I like that strategy right there by Steve Lutz.
Six seconds on the shot clock. Inbound is the Toulson. Pierre, rise, fires, knocks it down. Jaden Pierre. Timeouts remaining. If there is a tie-up, possession arrow is with the Cowboys. Steve Lutz tells his guys, you got to go quickly. Clary trying to get something going towards the basket. He's cut off. 20 seconds to play, and he lays it in. The lead is down to 2.
That's such a tough layup right there. I mean, at 5'10", just takes his time, is extremely patient, and just finishes over the big. I mean, how big, no pun intended, has Kanye Clary been today?
He's got 13 points, 10 of them coming in the second half with 9 assists. He has been the man, but also the leader, right? Going up in his teammates' face, rallying the troops, understanding you got to be together to get this one down the stretch. And now if you're Oklahoma State, shot clock turned off, how much time do you give to try to come up with a steal?
Well, you try to get a quick steal. Initially, try to jump the passing lane and be aggressive. Maybe see if you can get one trap. But if you cannot secure the ball in the trap or secure a steal, foul immediately. So you really don't want more than about 5 seconds to run off this clock.
And a reminder for Oklahoma State, Clary and Fowler both have 4 personal fouls.
So with that being said, you really want to be in a position where somebody else can commit the foul, because you need both of those guys on the floor to end this game.
Everybody in the front court as TCU running an inbound. Baseline running is Toulson. Outlet Robinson. And the foul committed by Clary. That'll be his 5th.
And he had to. He had to foul right there. You hate that it was him in that situation, but he had to.
Well, the crowd here at Oklahoma State appreciates the effort by the junior Kanye Clary, bringing his team all the way back. So TCU will go to the line. The front end of a 1-and-1 will be Micah Robinson. And he makes the big one, makes it a 3-point game.
Now, right here, Shrift, if Robinson makes this, it turns it from a 1-possession game to a 2-possession game. So ideally, same scenario. You want to go quick. You don't necessarily have to take the 3, but you have to score quick.
1 of 2. Oklahoma State with 1 timeout remaining. Curry doesn't see it. Coach is calling for a timeout. They don't grant it. Lutz is on the court, and eventually they give it to him. But how much time ran off the court as nobody noticed that Steve Lutz was looking for the time?
And that was about 8 seconds, maybe, that Steve Lutz was trying to get the referee's attention and call a timeout.
All right, let's go back and take a look, because Lutz was looking at his point guard, says, come over to me, call a timeout over here. When he noticed the point guard wasn't seeing him, runs on the court with 11 seconds.
And that's a major difference. And I don't think Curry realized that either, that he wanted them to go on the opposite side.
I mean, we're talking 4 seconds.
Yeah, we're talking a clear 4 seconds.
Ran off. They're going to foul immediately. Curry will be fouled, and that will send Oklahoma State to the line.
And the reason why I love that foul is because typically they say you don't foul in the front court. But the reason why I like that is because Curry was going away from the basket. And because he was going away from the basket, that is the smartest time to foul, because typically the reason why you don't foul in the front court is because guys can get into their shooting motion, and then you could potentially end up giving them 3 free throws if they get into their shooting motion. But this was a smart foul right here by Harding, because his momentum was going away from the bucket, and it looks like it should be probably about 6.9 on that clock.
So now that Oklahoma State will not even have an opportunity to take a 3, how big are those 4 seconds that ran off when the Cowboys weren't able to get that timeout?
That's massive. That is massive. And no doubt Steve Lutz after the game, win or lose, is not going to be happy about that.
It's going to be up to Curry. In a situation like this, do you try to get tricky at the free throw line, make the first, maybe miss the second? Does any of that come into play?
I think it really depends on the coach. I mean, right here, I don't necessarily think that you should miss the second one. I think you make both. I mean, they should put about 6.9 on the clock. So let's see what they actually, they put 7. They put 7 on the clock, okay. With 7 seconds, I really think you should make both of these. Make both of these and foul immediately and hope for the best after that. But I don't think this is enough time where you should try to miss the second one.
Well, it all starts with the first. And a 1-and-1 for Jalen Curry at the line. Makes the first.
And I think if he makes this one, They're going to put Isaiah Coleman in and sub Fowler out so that Fowler can't foul out.
He makes them both. The lead down to 1.
Oh, he subbed Miller.
As Coleman, more size, comes on for Victorious Miller. Harding also comes in, more ball handling and free throw shooting, replacing Punch. So Harding cannot sub into the game because no time came off the clock. So David Punch is going to have to get off the bench and go back in. So the officials are alerting Jamie Dixon as Punch will... Wasn't Punch in the game? They're sending Robinson in.
Jamie Dixon tried to pull one.
Wow, they did just pull one.
No, they didn't.
Oh, no, the officials noticed.
Yeah, the officials noticed. Yeah. Jamie Dixon tried to pull one.
Yeah, he did.
Because
it was Punch who exited. He has to stay on the floor.
Because no time has come off the clock. So Punch has to go back on the floor.
Steve Lutz says that should be a technical. He wants a technical assessed to TCU because they knew what was happening. Coach Lutz is not happy with the way this one is ending.
But it has to be Punch, because Punch was the one that got subbed out.
And the officials are going to try to figure this out. This scores table letting them know it was Punch who was on the floor. He has to come back in.
Yeah, Punch has to come back in.
So they finally get it sorted out as Robinson goes to the bench. Here we go. 7 seconds remaining, and neither team with a timeout. Toolson looking to inbound. And a foul is called as Oklahoma State wanted the steal.
We have to take another look at this one. Yeah, that left hand on the hip. This was a good call right here. I know Oklahoma State fans didn't want that, but that was the right call.
This has been a bizarre finish to an outstanding ball game.
But as you can see, I mean, both teams want this game.
Oh, you know,
it means something to both of these teams. And you can tell by how animated the coaches are right now, how they're getting into it. I mean, this game means something to both squads.
Double bonus, 2 free throws for TCU. And the first one is off. So the Horned Frogs will not use their foul technique to end this one. One of 2 with Robinson coming in the game. What's the play for Oklahoma State? Down 2.
Yeah, well, you have to look to attack. I mean, you're in the bonus, so if you put your head down and try to attack and get to the rim, good things can happen, especially with Curry's ability to be able to dribble, penetrate, and use his speed.
There we go.
I'm thinking Curry or Roy right here.
No timeouts, 3 seconds. Pull up 3 for the win.
What?
And it's laid in. Fowler ties it at the buzzer. Everyone stopped playing except for Parsa Fowler, and we're going to overtime.
Game.
It's been 721 days since Oklahoma State has played an overtime game. They lost against Oklahoma back in 2024. A drive, no call, as Edmonds can't believe it, but TCU retains possession.
And right here, if I am TCU, I'm trying to go at Parsa Fowler. I'm trying to get Fowler on the bench as quick as possible. And everything I do would be with my front court with the intention of trying to pick up that 5th foul on Fowler.
Pierre turns that corner, the sky hook off the window. Jaden Pierre came to play here today.
That's a tough finish right there over the big. Hit him with the Kareem skyhook right there.
Roy, skip pass. Finds Miller on the drive. Pulls up and ties the game at 86.
And that's a tough shot. I originally thought that Miller should have shot the three off the skip pass. But nonetheless, it results in a bucket.
Poked out of bounds by Fowler. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Fowler, a new season high with that shot to put it into overtime. He's got 26 points. As Coleman will come on, replacing Miller.
And we've seen this a few times. I think the reasoning is because I don't know if Steve Letch trusts Miller's defense. He trusts his offense a lot more than they trust his defense.
Robinson thought about it, puts it on the deck, gets all the way to the rim.
And on that drive, that's a good take. And you go straight at Parsa Fowler because he can't really contest because he doesn't want to foul out this game.
There's Fowler setting the screen. Now he rolls to the rim. Roy, that shot was tipped by Pierre. Edmonds, want to know how much of a battle it's been? His jersey is ripped open from the back. That's how much he's been fighting on the inside.
When did that happen?
Edmonds sets the screen for Pierre. The senior from Elizabeth, New Jersey, now has 18.
He's stepping up when it matters the most. Off the pick and roll, you cannot go under Pierre because he will make you pay.
Roy, a tough pass at the ankles of Coleman. Gathers himself with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Now at 4, on the deck, tipped around. 1 second, getting it off in time. But it's Pierre out-jumping everybody and comes down and travels with
it. And that's one of those tough calls right there. Because you automatically ask yourself, like, how did he fall? I mean, honestly, right there, I actually agree with the call. It's like nobody pulled him down. Nobody pulled him down. I actually agree with the call. I think it's a pretty good call.
So the shot clock should be at 20. As Curry inbounds under his own basket. Takes a look at the shot clock now at 10. Roy, sidestep 3. I don't know if that was the look.
That's just not a great shot once again. And I know when Steve Letch goes to the film room, he's going to have to say something about that because we've seen him get blocked earlier on in this overtime, and then he takes that contested 3. Just not smart basketball down the stretch.
Inside, Edmonds with his jersey ripped apart, and he throws it away.
And right there, I mean, good intention, bad execution. I mean, on that post-up right there, they sent the double, and Robinson did the right thing by cutting. Edmonds just threw a really terrible pass.
Five-point lead. They find Fowler away from the bucket. The hook on Punch, but they call the foul on TCU as Punch now picks up his 4th personal. And Fowler was lucky they didn't call him for his 5th. All right, let's take a look at this last play. If we had rolled it back a little further, you would have seen the hook got away with.
Yeah, the initial hook to try to be able to get that position at the elbow.
Fowler knocks down the free throw. Stays perfect, 6 of 6 at the free throw line today. And he misses, but it's tracked down by Isaiah Coleman. 3 rims out as Curry can't convert. And now Coleman commits the foul. That'll be his 4th. Now, one correction, David Punch does actually not have 4. He only has 3.
And right there, that's just not a great play by Isaiah Coleman. I mean, he made a fantastic play by getting the offensive rebound. But the foul right there when Harding has the basketball, just get back and set up your defense. No need to put TCU on the line to give him 3 points with no time coming off.
Harding swishes the first at the line. Six-point lead for TCU, the largest here in overtime. 90 seconds to play in this extra period. Miller. Bottled up by Robinson, forced to give it up. Coleman will hoist a 3, and he knocks it down. His second 3 of the ball game.
And we talked about how last game was the first time he's made a 3 in all of conference. He went 2 for 2 last game, and this game, the same thing.
Under a minute to play here in overtime. Robinson from the wing, short. On the deck is Curry, fighting for the ball. And a timeout is given to Oklahoma State. No, excuse me, they're saying TCU was out of bounds.
And from our angle, it was hard to see what really transpired over there. But let's take a look at this. This is just good hustle, good effort. And yeah, Edmonds was out of bounds when he touched the basketball.
You can see Curry yelling for the timeout, but eventually it was out of bounds off Horned Frogs. Oklahoma State down 3.
And you do not need a 3. Just get a good shot. Get the ball down low to Fowler right now.
Coleman is bumped. So David Punch commits that foul, and that is indeed his 4th. So there's some confusion.
Yeah.
The officials believe that was the 5th personal on David Punch. The arena says it's just his 4th. So the bench for TCU feels like that's 4 on Punch. The official scorers feel like that's his 5th.
So originally, you had it right originally. Yeah, I guess one of those fouls that you gave to him early on was true. Wow.
So Coleman to the line now. makes the first. It's been a bit of a confusion down the stretch here.
I don't know if I've ever seen a discrepancy like that, especially in a game like this.
He knocks it down. So the official scores confirm David Punch has fouled out. I originally thought he had 4 before.
You were right originally.
Running baseline is Toulson, gets it into Pierre. Shot clock turned off, 25 seconds to play. Into the front court, and Edmonds wisely gets it to a guard. Underneath, Robinson lays it in. Coming back the other way. Oklahoma State down 3. Deflected, but a timeout is awarded, and Jamie Dixon can't believe it. He said, how do you award a timeout when there was a scramble? I'm scratching my head right now.
Let's take a look at this. Because let's see when Let's wanted the timeout originally.
So verbally, he's calling a timeout.
I guess as soon as Coleman caught the ball, that's when he called the timeout. Right, I think right there, that's when he was signaling for the timeout. It just happened to be unfortunate timing that they gave it to him on the scramble.
So the timeout was awarded. Oklahoma State out of timeouts here in overtime. Now, we saw this at the end of regulation in a similar situation where TCU fouled, not allowing the Cowboys to get up a 3.
But right here, I mean, there's 11 seconds. So let's see if they try to get something going more towards the basket, because the last time that they were in this scenario, they were going away from the basket. Let's see if they do the opposite and try to get something going towards.
Jamie Dixon still working the officials. He said, we had the ball there, and he awarded a timeout. They're going to let this one play out. Oklahoma State needs a 3. Roy gives it up. Curry open at the horn. And TCU holds on for a 95